Oh, so cursed, may you burn in hell forever, 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 forever. Oh, so cursed, may you burn in hell forever, 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 forever.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Boulevard Bullies Presents Here Comes the Lame, a wrestling podcast full of philosophical discussion because we didn't actually watch it. I am joined by my wrestling father for the second straight week in a row. I'm so happy to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry the Long Dong Legend.
Thanks for having me a second week to fill in. Shout out Jedi Joe.
Jedi Joe's on extended sabbatical. The door's always open.
A leave.
He's on a leave. Oh, wow, we have a commenter from Portugal. Shout out Portugal.
Shout out Portugal.
Who's the most famous wrestler to ever come out of Portugal?
That would be Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese man of war.
Wow, dude, with the quickness, with the swiftness, too. It's like you already had that locked in.
I mean, that's the only Portugal that I can think of in wrestling.
The Portuguese man of war. You nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. I'm just kidding. We did watch Double or Nothing. We watched some stuff. Yeah, we watched more this week. You know why? Because I was off Sunday and Monday. So I was like, you know what? I got nothing going on. Let me watch some freaking King of the Ring. King of the Ring was Saturday afternoon, over by 4, nice and easy. And then Sunday night, I had nothing to do, so I drank a few beers, watched some Double or Nothing. So that's going to be the main meat. It's going to be the meat of the show. Oh, Killer Kelly from TNA might be Portuguese.
Okay, I've got two more.
Wow.
These are little known facts. Both the bad boy Joey Janela and longtime Beyond Wrestling promoter Drew Cordera both claim Portuguese descent.
Okay, all right. Maybe if they did what's the thing with the DNA tree?
Yeah, one tree. Yeah.
Yeah, they might
Ancestry.com.
Ancestry.com, they might find some Aldo Montoya,
who eventually became Just Incredible.
Yes, who eventually became Just Incredible. Once was that hair part of the mask, or was that his actual hair?
I think he had like the Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
But with the mask on, it made it look a little bit more crazy. I have a lot going on. I rescued a kitten, and it's in the room with me right now. It's scared.
You rescued a kitten?
Yes. There is a stray cat that gave birth to her litter on my mom and aunt's porch. And, as the kittens get more and more brave and venture out, I fear that they will be hit by cars or gobbled up by wildlife. They also are eating a tremendous amount and wrecking the porch. So I caught one of them today by itself while the others were in the back, the entire brood of kittens. And I took it home, and I'm going to house it. I'm going to find a place for it to stay. But right now it's in the room with me right now. And, it hears my voice, and it doesn't know anything but the porch and its little kitten brothers and sisters and its mom. So it's really kind of shell shocked and what's going on. I was doing all of that right before we went live tonight.
Wow. Well, thank you for taking time out of your philanthropy, your feline philanthropy, to be here. Appreciate you.
Well, I try to keep the house in order. My mom and aunt are older, so I do a lot of errands and checking in on them. You know this. Mm-hmm. Maybe the viewers don't, but my mom's got a big old heart, and she just loves animals. So she feeds all the strays in the neighborhood, and one of them just got pregnant and was like, well, this place is a food source, and just littered literally 5 kittens on the porch. So now it's the porch is always a mess, and I have all this anxiety that the cute little bundles of fluff are going to be killed and stuff. So I gotta do, bro. I'm not going to just ignore them and just be like, oh, whatever happens, happens. I'm not that person.
Larry, with the heart.
And I'm going to get the mama spayed. I'm going to, free, well, not free. I think it's $75. I'm going to sign up to have the mama cat spayed. Because she's very aggressive and very wild herself.
Well, I mean, I would hope so, Larry, because you did win The Price is Right, and at the end, Bob Barker would always say to spay and neuter your pets. So if you learned nothing else And even though you won the boat, you're a former boat owner. If you took one thing away from your Showcase Showdown victory, it's that you should spay and neuter your animals to control the pet population. And,
Well, that's the thing, Pat. This is not our pet. This is, of course, our pet would be handled. This is like a stray that, again, my kind-hearted, beer-sweet mother is just like, oh, little kitty, I'll feed it, But it's not ours. But, of course, since we care for it, we kind of assume responsibility for its well-being, and we're not like cold-hearted people to be like, the circle of life, bitch. If you make it, you make it. Only the strongest survive. So I scooped the little kitty up. It is in the room with me right now. It is meowing, probably for its mom and brothers and sisters, but it's actually taking part in Here Comes the Lane.
Yeah, its first episode. It doesn't know. It hit the lottery.
Well, I've done this before. I've rescued litter like babies before, because your heart always goes out to the baby, and you don't want them to just like not even get a chance at life. So I've been in this place before. I know how to grab the baby by the nape of the neck like the mom would, so it doesn't really like fight you and scream and holler. And I just kind of caressed it as I drove. I didn't have like an animal carrier or anything. I just like caressed it on my chest as I drove and kept telling it that it was going to be okay. And now we're home and just in the room doing Here Comes the Lane.
Not only are you Dr. Doolittle Ranger Rick up in this bitch,
okay,
but you're also now, Michael Cole got his humble beginnings as a war reporter.
Come here, little girl.
And now you have joined the ranks of trusted news sources. You texted me today that you were going through your iPad and you sold old footage to a news organization. They're clamoring for that Larry iPad footage.
I don't even know how I found this thing. I've been doing it since 2016, but essentially it is like a UK based. What I think it might be is kind of like eBaum's World. Remember how you would just find shit on eBaum's World and just keep scrolling?
Right.
And it would just be mad shit?
Hey, kid, on my computer, stop all the downloading.
Yeah, all that you could download it or share it or whatever. But it's called News Flare. And their angle is any news that's happening in the moment, like a crash on I-95 or, a hostage standoff or a sporting event. Like a basketball game, an exciting basketball game where everyone runs out onto the court because the home team won. Or a wrestling event where all of a sudden a guy who swings a flaming chair, the fire goes out into the crowd. They request you to submit things for them to churn out in this vehicle for content. And I haven't posted on there in years. I've not posted a video on this site for years. But someone who works for them must have a job of like combing all the submissions and being like, yo, do we have any shit we can sell? It's hot right now. Is wrestling hot right now? Can we comb the wrestling shit? And yeah, I got a payout today randomly. Just a random like, you got paid. Because you give them your credentials and whatnot. And I'm like, oh shit, that shit is still active? Like, Pat, I haven't been on it in so long. I'm like, that's even still active? This site, but yeah, it is. And this is old footage, like just old shit, dude. Pinky versus Tremont in Tremont's first match, and Masada versus Corporal Robinson from the first NGI. Just all types of old stuff that I just captured while I was at ringside on either my phone or the iPad. Yes, Matt Tremont's in CZW, okay? His first match in CZW was a warm-up match for Tournament of Death because he was facing Necro. He's facing Necro Butcher in the first round. And he had a warm-up match against Pinky Sanchez. And at the time, Pinky was trying to work his way back into the good graces of DJ Hyde in CZW. So he was like, I'm down for whatever. I'll put the kid over. I'll make him look great. And they did like a little like quick impromptu, bop, bop, bop. And Tremont won. And then Tremont was off to the TOD to fight Necro.
Amazing. The more you know. I was going to say something about movies because, because you're talking about this website. It's kind of like the movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. Have you seen this?
Nightcrawler is in Marvel?
No, Nightcrawler is in the guy is like a freaking exactly what you just described. Like when there's like an accident, he'll go and like try to get like disgusting photos, disturbing photos, and like sell them. You know what I mean? He's basically like a shystery, what do you call it? Paparazzi.
Yes, the people that we think may have caused the death of Lady Di and Dodi Fayed, when they were fucking trying to get away from them and they sped through that tunnel and died.
Yeah, so like what you're describing is like Nightcrawler, where the guy, and I think what happens is, I think the twist is that like he at some point creates the crime, like his thirst for photography,
right.
So out of control. It's run amok, and he starts like doing bad shit. Anyway, really good movie. I wanted to bring movies up because we always talk about personal life. We always talk about like video games and sports, and I want to talk about sports briefly in a minute because the Mets had a wrestling moment and the Rangers are in the Eastern Conference playoffs. But I want to institute a new segment for as long as you're going to be here, which is Larry's Movie Time.
I like the jingle.
I already failed last week because what movie did you mention last week? It was like a rom-com. It didn't sound like something I would enjoy.
I thought I mentioned Audition.
Audition sounds like a romantic comedy.
Well, bro, it starts off like something that you don't think it's going to turn into.
Okay, so twist and turn. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like you've probably seen a lot more movies. Like, I feel like you've probably seen all the movies I've seen, but I don't think I've seen all the movies that you've seen.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. There are tons of things that I haven't seen. Some of them I haven't seen intentionally. Like, I was forced to watch the first Matrix, and I just watched it in like 2019.
You refused.
Well, I see like people jumping on something, and I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. I need to ground myself into not getting caught up in the fervor of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Nintendo's new Switch, and all of this consumption, and just be like, that shit is gonna not go nowhere. I'll watch it when I get around to it. It's not, you don't have to be water cooler talk ready all of the time.
Oh my God, Larry, I just saw a commercial. Literally, right before I came up here, I saw a commercial, and it was actually brilliant advertising. It was like the members of the family, they don't have Verizon cable in their home, right? So when they're out with their friends, they're like the black sheep. Because they didn't watch the thing that everybody's talking about. So they have to like pretend and like fake that they saw it. And so the family's like sharing their methods of how they like fake their friends into thinking they're cool by pretending to know what they're talking about with this, like the hot show. And that's exactly the thought I had was, wow, that's really clever, but also like a sad commentary on
a sad state that we're in nowadays. That if you didn't watch the latest episode of Chucky, you're dead.
You're lame. What are you living under a rock?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It is a sad commentary.
What's your family poor?
Well, I mean, in some regards, you can say the same thing about wrestling. Is there Fox is the only like free wrestling? SmackDown is the only, like, if you're poor and you can't afford no shit that costs a monthly fee, a regular old digital converter will at least get you whatever WWE is putting on SmackDown.
It's Urka in the chat. Hi, Urka. Thanks for watching. Very, very funny. Says,
what up,
says 20 years is a pretty long time to wait, though. In regards to you, they're like, I'm going to wait to see The Matrix. It's like, yeah, you did wait 20 years. A long time.
Okay, hold on. One other thing. So, Pat, you know this, and I don't know if everybody else knows this, but I was a New Yorker for 10 years. And when you live in New York, you find all types of way of seeing shit for free. But sometimes you got to, like, go out of your way to figure out. When The Matrix come out, 99?
Yep.
That's the same time that Audition, the movie that I just saw for the first time in 2024, came out. It was a good year. Because in 99, I wasn't pressed to go to the movies to see anything. I was pressed to, like, do backyard wrestling.
Hell yeah.
And, like, fucking go to wrestling and shit. I play No Mercy with my friends before I moved to New York. And then when I moved to New York, I was poor. So it was like, I just was not prioritizing.
Like, you're young. Like, there was a time in my... Like, there was like a several year stretch in like my 20s where like I didn't watch any TV. I had no idea what was going on like TV or like wrestling. I was just like living life, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll see that shit, man. I'm like, Kill Bill I saw. And that fucking, there's some shit I wanted to be swept up in the phenomena of, but, with The Matrix, I was just like, Keanu Reeves.
Ignorance is bliss. Great.
Yeah.
Great movie. They don't really hold up. Like all that. But the Matrix trilogy is near and dear to my heart. Love it. They have like a 45-minute in Matrix 2. They have like a freaking 45-minute fight scene with driving where they built in LA a quarter-mile loop of like highway so they could fucking film this scene for like a month. And it's definitely one of the greatest like chase scene. It's like Matrix drive but on wheels. Matrix on ice.
Now, I have not made it to any other Matrix besides the one that I watched on my birthday. I believe it was my 39th birthday. If math is correct.
I just love the idea. I know this isn't how it happened, but I'm just making it up now in my mind. I'm changing your life to fit my own comedic satisfaction. It's just like,
I mean, Sagittarius do that.
You wake up on your birthday, you're 39, November 28th, right?
29th,
damn it. 29th. And you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to finally watch The Matrix. Like, you have it on your calendar. You're like, today's the day. 20 years.
Come here.
So, anyway, now we are starting Larry's Movie Club, where every
week, Larry's Movie Club!
Every week, I want you to recommend to me and the other viewers a film that you've watched that is near and dear to your heart. It could be one of your favorites. It could be a deep cut. But this week, I'm taking the power out of your hands because I have a shocking, thing I got to tell you.
All right, let's hear it.
Confession, a shocking confession. I have never seen one single frame of Rosemary's Baby.
Within the past 12 months, I have seen Rosemary's Baby in an actual cinema.
Wow, yeah, you're telling like the Draft House or whatever down downtown.
Down Baltimore.
Yeah.
Down Baltimore. It's called the Charles Theater. Now, there are three theaters that were the theaters of Baltimore. They were the Charles, the Ambassador, and the Senator. The Charles, the Ambassador, and the Senator. And they would do like movies and also stage plays. The Charles has been revived, and now they do like a revival series because the theater's been revived, and they show old films that maybe you, born in the 80s, missed out on. So yes, I've gone to the Charles, and actually, Pat, I got invited to the Charles tonight.
What?
And I was gonna go, but I forgot we were doing this. So
Larry.
Well, it's the day waned up. Listen, it's so funny too, because one of the reasons I wasn't gonna go is because I was like, I can't really afford to go to the movies.
Oh, okay,
so I'm not gonna.
Good excuse.
I'm not going to ask this person. I'm not going to ask this person who's telling me about this movie to buy my ticket. And I don't have the energy, and I don't want to spend money to go see something just because you're telling me. But the movie that was recommended for me tonight that's playing at the Charles is called After Hours. It's a Martin Scorsese comedy.
Huh. Never heard of it.
After Hours. Yeah, neither had I. A dark comedy by Martin Scorsese. So right there, knowing Martin Scorsese and what he does, to think of a film by him that's a dark comedy is probably something worth being seen.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. Well,
yeah, it's a long film though.
Yeah, it's like a 4-hour.
I don't have the energy.
So this week, if anybody, I'm taking over for Larry. I'm doing the first maiden voyage of Larry's movie club.
Yeah, because you wanted to say you wanted to bring up a movie.
This is a very roundabout way to just tell you that this week I'm going to be watching Rosemary's Baby for the first time. And if you're around next week, I will tell you about it live on the air. If you're not, I will tell you about it on the phone. But yeah, hey, John Richter in the chat says, OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre or The Shining?
Without any hesitation, OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I respect and adore both directors. However, Stanley Kubrick was like working with a budget, dude, a movie fucking budget, major motion picture that we're shooting here. Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, sweeping camera shot,
crane
from a fucking helicopter. Major shit. Toby Hooper was doing a college fucking film, dude, with like $1,000 or like next to no money, and produce that fucking work of art.
Wow, Larry, you just changed my mind.
It's ECW, WWE. They got the long bread, but you ain't taking away Taz versus fucking Sabu at the first fucking ECW pay-per-view as not being like some brilliant what the fuck,
Yeah.
So easily Texas Chainsaw for what was accomplished as an artist and a do-it-yourselfer. On here right now, here comes the Lane Boulevard Bullies versus the World. Our vibe.
Yeah.
Do it your fucking self, and you can make some shit that like goes on for eons and blows everyone away and challenges people to create like that.
Wow, you completely changed my mind because I was going to go Shining. But I guess that's because I am more of a cinephile, and for the reasons that you described, the big budget, Jack Nicholson, the setting, the camera shots, the sweeping camera and the editing and everything like movie about it was going to make me say The Shining, but you just completely fucking changed my mind, Larry. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely right.
Well, also like the way that I found those two movies, like The Shining seemed like something that was like prevalent and out there and referenced in a lot more pop culture and just like available. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre was kind of like almost like, I want to say like porn level. Like, oh, I've got a tape of a movie you got to see. Like,
yeah, it scared the norms. It was like dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, what is this? Are they really torturing this poor girl? The answer is yes. They were in the filming of it, not intentionally to make her life a living hell, but because of the conditions that they were filming the fucking scene where she had to scream over and over again. It was like 109 degrees.
Yeah. Incredible. A labor of love.
Poor girl was cooking. R.I.P. What's her name? Sally.
Yeah,
Sally was her name in the movie.
A cult classic. One of the greatest cult classic. And think about it. Since then, like, what did they do to our boy? What have they done to our boy? They broke our boy.
Well, I mean, acting wise, obviously, The Shining is brilliantly acted, but I think there's some brilliance in like the bad acting of a bunch of kids that are helping you make a film.
Absolutely.
I think there's something very brilliant about the way that they read those lines and tried to like make them sound funny or ominous. I think that there's some brilliance in that because they were just fucking probably like, shit, how many times do I have to say this shit?
I'm hungry. I'm dying. Why did I agree to this? Jack Nicholson's in his trailer practicing his facial expressions in the mirror and shit.
You've seen behind the scenes of The Shining where he's like, fucking, excuse me now, I've got to go take a piss. Like, like.
Hey, movies, acting.
I love them both, but yeah, Texas Chainsaw is the one that I'm going to the movies. I'm going to the Charles to see it when they play Texas Chainsaw. The Shining, I maybe if it was on Halloween and I had a date.
I still have no fucking idea what happens in The Shining or what it's about. But
it's basically about burying, building things over top of Native American burial grounds.
Right. It's It's basically a haunted hotel.
Yes. Well, they just didn't care. They didn't care about the Native Americans that, I don't know, were supposed to have been massacred there, or there was their burial ground, and they were just like, capitalism, a love story. And those Native American spirits, which are very real, just cast the shadow of evil all over that place forever.
Wow. All right. So this week, Rosemary's Baby. If you haven't watched it, watch it. I will be doing that. If you have watched it, please implore you to, watch it again. Watch a YouTube video about it. I will not be watching YouTube videos first. I'll be watching the film, and then maybe I'll watch these a few Rosemary's Baby history of or analytical things because I enjoy doing that. Let's get to headlines.
Yeah.
Wrestling headlines. Hey, speaking of capitalism, two of the biggest pillars of evil, crusty, perverted white men are both in deep doo-doo this week. Today, President Donald Trump was found guilty.
WWE Hall of Famer.
WWE Hall of Famer. That's the only reason I wasn't going to put it in the headlines, but he's a WWE Hall of Famer, so I put it in the headlines. He's found guilty on like 34 counts of felony perjury or something. It's about Stormy Daniels and like money and all this shit. Blah, blah, blah. Also, the Vince McMahon civil case, Larry, now this is very important, is on pause because the Department of Justice is getting involved. The feds are getting involved on the Vince thing. Yeah, so there's like subpoenas. There's a bunch of shit going on with that. So within moments of this news breaking, I saw that somebody photoshopped a picture of Vince McMahon and Donald Trump in front of Rikers Island, and that made me laugh. So I'm mentioning these headlines to you.
It's so funny because at one point, one of the only people Donald Trump was following on Twitter, on X, was Vince McMahon. I remember he was like following the number president he was. So like 45, and one of them was Vince.
Very interesting. Who knows what sick shit those two guys got up to together. All right, we are definitely 100% going to review AEW Double or Nothing. We're definitely 100% going to review King of the Ring. Just some quick shots, big news stories from the week. Some of them are connected to Double or Nothing. Like, for instance, Edge broke his leg, Larry.
Unbelievable.
Broke his leg.
Unbelievable. First of all, Edge is 50.
He got cocky.
Well,
he said it himself in his his rocking chair video.
Edge is a great talker.
Edge
is a great talker.
He is getting to the level of like The Rock or John Cena to me.
Absolutely.
Where it's where he's just mastered the art of being fake nice. Like he's like he's not just fake nice, he's fake relatable. He's like he's fake relatable, and I
mean, look at him. He's always kind of resembled an alien to me, just from like when he first came out. So it's like, dude, you're like some sort of like, I don't know, like
he's got those
otherworldly
dog teeth too. He's got those animal teeth.
It's a very strange looking individual, but there's also something about his speech that like The Rock and like John Cena is quite almost like so polished that it's almost like hypnotic, like politics speak, and they know how to say the the uhs and look a certain way, and they know how to do all the little things.
Humble.
To, like,
I'm one of you. I'm related. Yeah, and they can actually fake the light behind their eyes. Like you look at their eyes and you believe them that they're nice people, and I think they're just workers. They're just working.
Yeah, because guess what? Both Edge and Eddie Kingston, they're not getting paid.
Yeah, the tibia, which is like a big deal. For a 50-year-old man to break his tibia. Yeah, that's why he's sitting in his rocking chair like he's just smiling. That's why he's relatable, in a good mood, because he's getting paid. He's sitting at home with his family.
All he had to do was a good match.
Yeah. He's like, fuck it. What's the word? I'll break my leg. I'll sit home. He goes, I'm 50 and I need to make better choices. And he'll always mention how much fun he's having. I'm having the time of my life out there. It's like, yeah, dude, you broke your leg and now you're getting paid. Floyd Mayweather was at Double or Nothing.
Now this I missed. I missed this.
You know what I've realized? So what's his name? Swerve Strickland got him there, I guess, Swerve Strickland at the press conference was like, yeah, we know the same people. I think Swerve Strickland is like probably the best clout chaser in all of wrestling. Like, he could get in there. If there's a thing, he's going to send the email, he's going to go through the channels, and he's going to get himself in there.
Dude, I'm going to tell you this much. I don't know. I don't know if Swerve was at this past year's Wale Mania. I don't know if he was at this past year's. I don't think he was. I really don't. Maybe he was, and we just didn't see him photographed. But, bro, the Wale Mania before this year's in LA, oh, my God. He was, like, untouchable, like celebrity status when he arrived. Like, it just so happened that I actually was leaving as Swerve was arriving, and, like, there were just, like, all of these, like, hip-hop looking guys and women, like beautiful vixens that were like around him, like this huge entourage, and he was like talking to me but like looking at other people and like making eye contact past me and shit, and I'm like, oh my God, you're huge, you're like a huge star. Like I'm like, bro, can I get a picture? And he's like, of course, but he's still like almost like motioning to people to do things and shit. He's not gonna have to do wrestling for too much longer, is what I'm trying to say.
It's almost like a modern day Ric Flair, It's like you get out of the SUV with a bunch of like bodyguards and music video women, and you just like a dope rapper and like a big coat. And it's like, and that's like the airport test. It's like the modern airport test. It's like people are going to look and be like, I don't know who that guy is, but that guy's somebody. That's somebody right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a modern day Flair. He's got the custom clothing on. You know?
He looks good. He acts good. His matches are good. I just feel that they're kind of wasting him until Ospreay.
Well, anyway, now he's best friends with Floyd Mayweather, and there were plenty of pictures taken. He was also at the skate park, like Major League of Skating thing, hanging out with his title, which I guess is like in California. So he was doing the damn thing. We'll get to him in a little bit. Because Ospreay and him are now. That's gonna be a match. That's already a match now. So
at Forbidden Door.
Jordan,
see. I was talking to a wrestling fan today who was like, why are they doing this at Forbidden Door? Like, I get it, but like, why there? And I was like, I think that they have wanted to wrestle each other on a big platform for a very long time. Yeah. I think that at the time that Swerve was kind of bubbling and getting the look at NXT, he was doing a lot of international tours, a lot of European tours. And I think he and Ospreay became friends and sort of like, bruv and mated each other. And they were like, oh man, one day maybe we'll both be making that on full title or some shit, And Swerve was like, yeah, maybe. And here we are. So like they're there. They're like, we need to pull the trigger now while we both can hit our shit. Like while we're both in our prime, let's pull the trigger right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Yeah, they're friends. What's his name? Ospreay was on Swerve's podcast recently. They seem like friends. They seem friendly. But I mean,
they see
Swerve?
money in each other. They see a potential Jericho Benoit. Like one of those perfect Bretts. One of those like rivalries that A&E does a biography about.
Right. Like Tommy Dreamer and Raven fight forever.
Mm-hmm.
Steen Generico. Hey, speaking of the Forbidden Door, Jordan Grace appeared on NXT. TNA Women's Champion showed up at NXT, and they're going to do Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez. NXT title versus TNA title. And I wonder, it's just funny, like, I guess it's like, oh, well, AEW's in their Forbidden Door season where they're doing all these mashups. It's like, call up TNA. We'll do a match. Fuck it. we'll just do.
Jordan was in the Women's Royal Rumble this past year, I believe,
yes,
right? And the year before that, Mickie James was in the Women's Royal Rumble, I believe. 2 years in a row, we've had Impact Women's Champions just like in the Royal Rumble. So I guess I don't know, dude. Is it like only the women, or I don't know? It's so wild to me that is going on. That Impact will allow it. It's just so it's like wild to me. But yeah, I'm happy Jordan got herself up there, and I hope that means that maybe some way somehow we'll see her husband, former CZW World Champion, former Ring of Honor World Champion, one of the only men to hold both the CZW World and Ring of Honor World Championships, Jonathan Gresham.
Jay Gresh. Yeah, maybe. I mean, anything is possible. Sexy Red was in NXT, so Sexy Red and Jordan Grace were on the same episode together.
Yo, shout out Trick Williams. That's a CZW student, y'all. And wasn't Sexy Red there? Wasn't she there because of like an interaction with Trick Williams, the NXT champion? Isn't that?
There was a Twitter thing. Yeah, it was a Twitter thing.
Yeah. So shout out, CZ Dub.
Hey, CZ Dub, Sexy Red. Sexy Red debuted the new North American Women's Championship title.
I saw her coming out there and pulling the thing.
Yeah, she pulled the thing. She shook her butt. There's a clip of Shawn Michaels and her hugging backstage. And Larry, I kid you not, he goes, give Daddy some sugar. She's walking in to hug him, and he goes, come give Daddy some sugar. As she's going in to hug him, like in front of everybody. Strange. And then they were in the car singing the Sexy Boy. I don't know. I don't know. Have you heard Sexy Red's music? Anything's possible.
You think she put Sean over?
I mean, it's possible, dude. She's a big fan.
Yeah, just to fucking say she did.
Yeah, just to do it.
And him too.
Yeah, fuck it. And one night he's like, you know what you should do? You should just come down, be on the show. So anyway,
well, I mean, it's kind of like it's okay. So like when I saw that,
is what I'm saying.
When I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck? Like what? Like Sexy Red on NXT? But it's kind of like, oh, you want to flex and have Floyd, major money star, and something else. Floyd, former participant at WrestleMania, like one of the highest grossing WrestleManias of all time. You want to have him backstage with your champion? We'll take a relevant megastar in whatever other thing and put them on our B show, put them on our fucking development.
Right, well, that's
show.
right. They're doing Forbidden Door on NXT.
Like, you want headlines? Yeah, we'll do it on NXT. How about that?
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest stars of the mound is on that show.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing Forbidden Door?
More eyes on NXT. Like, what? Sexy Red is going on NXT. What is NXT? Whoop that trick. Oh, I love this shit. Oh, you know, whoop that. I'm watching next week for whoop that trick. And Booker T's the comments. Come on.
And did you see? There's a lot of There's a lot of big butts on that show. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of butts. And Lola Vice, who's like, one of the more famous trending new butts on the scene, very talented wrestler. Very talented wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But she like beat somebody up, and just her celebration, instead of like, she just started twerking. Just started twerking in the ring in her wrestling gear. It was awesome. So, a lot of twerking, sexy red. Shawn Michaels is just on one, dude.
I mean, he's Triple H's best friend. He's Triple H's best friend. He loves the Lord his God, and he is an avid hunter.
And he looks like somebody who is not Shawn Michaels. Like I wonder if those are really Shawn Michaels bones in there.
I mean, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, dude.
Well, God
and he
bless
lived
him.
it. He lived it. He lived it.
So look
and
it
now
up.
Thanks to his politics now, he like has a job for life. He's gonna be Dusty. He's gonna be the Dusty of NXT.
Yeah.
Steve Corino's down there with him.
Pretty awesome.
Crazy.
Pretty awesome. You know who else appeared on NXT? Another former CZW champion, Ethan Page. And I believe
you're right.
He attacked somebody. I don't know who, but I saw him.
You're right.
Screaming.
And therein is another flex. Let's take one of your highest potential charismatic talents and give them a platform to really shine. They're just flexing all over the place, bro. They're just fucking straight up taking the towel when you're hard and you're butt naked and putting it on your schlong and looking at yourself in the mirror, like balancing the towel with your erect. You know what I mean? Like they're just that's the type of flex that's going on with. To me, like it's like, dude, what are you doing? You're rolling down the ramp.
Well, they're saying that the next two people from AEW, he's rolling down the ramp. The next two people from AEW are going to be Hook and Starks. Their contracts are up.
I've heard the same. Yeah. Well, what's going on with Starks?
Broke his leg, I guess.
What happened?
Everybody's just breaking their legs.
No.
Not 100. Hey, no. I can't go. I'm not 100, boss. My shoulder's hurting me.
So Starks was with Big Bill, right? And they lost the belts, right?
Oh, my arm.
My arm.
Yeah, I'm hurt. I don't think I can go. I'll give you a call.
And he's getting his money. Everybody's just sitting back getting hurt and getting money.
They say that they say there was a bunch of articles, and who knows if this is slanderous, if this is like part of the towel swinging thing that you described before, but a bunch of stories came out on like Monday or Tuesday right after Double or Nothing of like backstage sources saying that like the show was like written like 3 days before, that like up until a week before, that like nobody knew what they were doing, and there was like a massive rewrite to Double or Nothing, and that apparently Tony is constantly like you show up and an hour passes and the show's completely different, and it's mad hard to get in touch with him. And he has his people that he talks to, the wrestlers who he always talks to. And if you're like trying to get time with him, you can never get time with him. And somebody equated it to like WWE 2019. That was the quote. It was like it feels more like WWE 2019 than AEW 2019. So that's just interesting. So yeah, what are you gonna do? You're gonna like kill yourself for this guy? You're gonna kill yourself for like Ricky Starks probably he's got like so many bumps left on his card, and he comes out and he sees that nobody's there, and he sees that Tony Khan's rolling down the freaking ramp.
Yeah, dude.
And he's like, "Get me the fuck out of here." And I bet you it doesn't like, and the footage came out of him like he's friends with Cody and he was like cheering him on. He was at WrestleMania. I'm sure that does not go over well.
Yeah. Wasn't he also like at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, there was security.
Like,
There was like ring cam footage of him carrying Cody's bags. He cannot wait to get the fuck out of there, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Dare I ask about Scorpio Sky? Does he even exist anymore?
I don't know. I don't know. But I saw that last night they brought back Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels is like the good guy freaking GM now. He got promoted to temporary EVP on behalf of like Kenny, I guess.
I thought it was Tony because Tony keeps getting attacked.
Oh, I guess that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either, but to me it's like it's crazy that Christopher Daniels and Adam Pearce are both authority figures on the two biggest promotions out there. And both of them have very long origins in Ring of Honor.
Yes.
You know, they're from the old Ring of Honor, you know, the Carry Ring of Honor. So it's crazy to me that both of them are in this role. And I'm going to say something right now that I've shared with other people in the wrestling industry about Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce, even when he was a wrestler, to me already seemed like he was like the general manager of wrestling. Not necessarily of WWE. I'm not trying to say that he was like on the tape of WWE back in the day, but in my interactions with him, he always just had this kind of like management type authority about him. And Christopher Daniels as well. These guys were always kind of like the locker room leader type guys. Like, you got to talk to him, you know, like you got to go over there and talk to him, like type of peacemakers and like fraternity, torch bearers of this ancient
like
rite of progress, you know, like both of them kind of felt that way to me as long as I've known them. And it's kind of crazy to me because as soon as I saw him come on, I'm like, wow, it's like he's Pierce.
Yeah, he's like
the Pierce of AEW.
He's their bald guy. Since we're talking about AEW, let's just continue on AEW. I know that Adam Pearce came out last night and is like the new good guy, like offsetting general manager. I know that Chris Jericho has a new segment where a children's construction paper tree stands in the ring. There's he's got like a kids show or something. I know that Taz and Shivani yelled at each other. And I know that there was a Forbidden Door Battle Royal because I watched the end of it. You were the one who pointed out this Tony Schiavone and Taz thing. Do you care to walk us through that?
So, honestly, when it first popped off, I wasn't actually really paying attention. I actually was really not paying attention to hear the thing that made it pop off. But I could clearly tell that, like, Taz was doing his job. And Tony tried to like shit on him and be like, you're not paying attention. And he called him dude. And Taz did not like being duded. Like, so don't you ever. The Brooklyn came out of Taz.
Yeah.
The old brother, the old Bully Ray Taz came out. And it got very awkward and very quiet at that booth for a few minutes afterwards. And they kept trying to like laugh it off. But like Shivani was being really quiet and Taz was kind of acknowledging that he's excited, you know, like, oh, like kind of walking it back a little bit. But yeah.
He's like, you get me hot. You got me hot. He like.
Yeah, you get me hot over here, you know. And it's like, yeah, you got hot, all right. You got hot enough to make like an esteemed, I guess, colleague commentator like Shivani kind of be like, whoa, bro.
Yeah, he had a little like dog in his voice. He got a little gravel in his voice. So what happened was Taz was like doing shtick. Like Taz was doing like storyline stuff. And he said to Tony Schiavone, he said to Tony Schiavone, like, well, how many times during I don't know what the conversation was before this, but the line was, how many times do you talk to Tony Khan throughout the match? And so Schiavone was like, you know, just call the match, dude. Pay attention and call the match, dude. And Taz was like, Taz was not having it. He's like, if you call me dude.
Okay.
And he's like, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm trying to do. And
that's
Taz,
what I'm trying to do, dude.
Taz kept calling him dude because Taz was so angry that he was just like, he said dude like 3 or 4 times, and he goes, call me dude. He's like, you're lucky Excalibur's sitting between us. I'll snatch you right up, or like so shit.
And for those
of
y'all in the chat, I forget which Survivor Series it was, but there was a Survivor Series where it was like Team SmackDown versus Team Raw, and they had Cole and Taz as commentators and Lawler and Ross. And during this thing, the commentating kind of broke down, and they were like taking shots at each other and just like totally like ignored the match. And I think someone got them back together and was like, fucking call the match, motherfucker. Stop like getting in on each other. But bro, you don't want to fucking ruffle Taz's feathers, honey. You don't want to ruffle that motherfucking orange pigeon's feathers, honey. Because she'll come out clucking. Hell yeah. Ruby, Ruby, Ruby Soho. Anything from Dynamite of note? Monet came out and fought Sky Blue because Sky Blue. She gotta beat her decisively. Gave Monet a nice little fucking win. Yes, very well done. I thought from Moni, and also big news. Leo Rush made a little appearance last night. They did a what was that? And I'm so angry. I'm poor. So I don't have no fucking cable or nothing. So I have to watch. On like, how I watch. You all know how I watch. And like sometimes the things we were just talking about. I don't know if it was versus the world on Tuesday. A lot of refreshing, dude. My dude, I was so frustrated, bro. Claudio comes out doing his thing. Whoops. I gotta switch server. And then you text me, Leo, let's fucking go. I'm like, bro, do not tell me my boy just came out, bro.
Yeah, he looked good.
And fucking by the time I got back on it, I saw him taking like one bump on the floor. Go figure. Like, and I couldn't even tell. I was like, is he masked? I couldn't even tell. But yeah, boy.
Yeah, he just came out as normal Leo.
Having me. Hell yeah. Leo, right? Yeah, he wasn't the Blackheart. I bet you the Blackheart shit is what made them be like, yo, let's get him. Let's call him because he's still fucking doing his shit and people see him and love him. He gets a reaction and
he's awesome.
He's awesome, bro.
Yeah, and he's fucking awesome.
Dude, you know how awesome he is? It's like his little fucking combo where he does the front flip, kick, Inzi. He does it to everyone. He does it so quick that every single time when people see it, they're like, oh, look at this fucking quick kick doing a little like flip and then, and then standing there. Like every time, it ain't different. Every time he just did it to Claudio, and you still heard the LA Forum like kind of like coming up for his like fucking
oh shit, yeah, it's like an oh shit, like yeah, this guy can ball.
Yeah, his little like fake out. I'm going to this rope. No, I'm going to this rope.
Yeah,
like like
he certainly makes an impression.
Over, dude.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense that he just came out. He had that big bubble coat that he wears, but he came out like Bobby Lashley's manager Leo. Like he just came out like energized and like movie star. But that makes sense because that's how people, hey, I'm gonna be on cable television. I want people, it's like, oh, it's this kid from this thing, So it was a good showing, I thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this much from personal knowledge. It takes a lot for him to get that coat, that extravagant coat that he wears. It takes a lot of like travel expenses to get that around. And he has a couple of them. He has a couple of those. Yeah, he has a couple of those versions, and he takes with him depending on how far it is. But for TV, he bought that fucking Met Gala. He put that he put the Met Gala one out.
Yep.
And fucking and that's the one that I told him, yo, that's the one. That's the one. So yeah, he looked good.
Should have won the thing.
Him. And like I want to see Swanee up there too. What's Swan doing? Is he on Impact doing stuff? I never even.
Well, he's in TNA, I guess, and And I guess now I wonder if because TNA is doing NXT stuff and there's that forbidden door open, if the forbidden door from, I wonder if it's closed on the other side. Like TNA can't do AEW, but who knows? Yeah, shout out Leah Rush.
Who knows? I don't know. Shout out
Leah Rush.
Maybe it's all becoming one big company.
Wrestling. All right, so let's get into Double or Nothing because a lot of things happened. I enjoyed watching this show as much as I enjoyed.
Hold on, wait. Let me just say one more thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't gotta say nothing else about Dynamite. Go ahead.
And we keep. Let's
go into the thing we both watch.
Yes. Okay. So
go into the thing we both. You're right. Yeah.
So a lot of things happened. The pre-show I did not watch. I could have cared less.
What was it?
So it's the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony, and I kid you not, they had their name as the Cage of Agony, which is so dumb. Thunder Rosa fought Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh my God! I think I did watch this. I actually did watch that. The pre-show was free, right?
Yeah, it was on YouTube. YouTube.
Yeah, I watched that.
Can I also say
both those matches actually? What's wrong with me?
That Renee and RJ City are so unbearable. I just cannot believe. It's like Renee could be the host of like Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Like she would be she's great, but there's not enough like structure for her. I think she's got too much freedom. And RJ City is just a very, very funny guy, but just a maniac. And to me, the credibility, you tune into the pre-show and it's like, what is this shit? Fuck is this shit? But maybe I'm old and out of touch. I mean, you think
I agree. I agree that Renee has a lot of freedom, but I think she's good enough. I think she's good enough to wield that and not make it all about me and fucking kind of subtly slight people and play her position. So I don't have a problem with Renee. That guy RJ City, I don't know who that is, but I've heard his name a lot. Kind of like the way that I hear the Chris Van Vliet name a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear there are these people that are like, I don't know, impresarios of like the socials, Conrad, like all these people that are like these names. So I don't know who he is, but in the time-honored tradition of having like true like stand-up hosts to like kind of like be like, we're about to go live, everybody, let's talk about it. Someone is typically always really bad.
Like there's a wacky one.
Yeah, like Stephanie Wyan and Todd Pettengill. Like, and I don't mean to be mean, but like even when I did that a little bit for Mandy Leone back in Ring of Honor, we did a lot of kind of like ringside before the pay-per-view or live shit, like who fucking was owning that. And she was kind of like learning, audience, presentable, on time, all of that stuff. So I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was passable, but I could see how he is not in an enviable position at all to be like likable or knowledgeable or funny or like kind of like Rosenberg on WWE. I don't think anybody wants to like Peter Rosenberg. I think they want to like Sam more than Peter, and I love them both, but I think they're just in that enviable task of like, why is this guy on my TV?
Yeah, who is this guy?
And Renee around him can just sort of like hula hoop, do like tricks and shit, fucking like, a split, like ta-da, this is why I'm Renee. Yeah.
I should have probably taken notes, like in the moment.
I have some notes of different things that happened I wanted to talk about.
Oh, good. Please. Well, I'm going match by match, so feel free to jump in.
Let me look at my notes and you go ahead.
Wow. So, I should have actually, we're talking about writing our feelings down. I should have written my feelings down on exactly what I was feeling that made me not like watching Renee and RJ City. Next time I will. But I'll try to put it into words other than just having like blind anger towards two annoying people. The Bang Bang Gang, speaking of annoying people, Bang Bang Gang fought Death Triangle for the Trios Championship titles. I was looking at this match, but can I say that I was like watching it or thinking about it? Was my brain working while I was watching this match? No. And through no fault of my own. It was just like, it's just another trios match. More Bang Bang Scissor Gang, more Penta, more Ray Phoenix, more Pac. Pac's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 6 guys, who's your favorite? Jay White, the Gun Boys, Pac, Penta, Ray Phoenix.
Dude, I guess I'm a little, was Penta in Lucha Underground in the match where he broke Vampiro's arm?
He always used to break arms in Lucha Underground, yeah.
Okay. Dude, it's so hard because like I know Pac and I love him, and I think he's one of the gems, the hidden gems of our game. But that Penta guy is like, just like, I say Pac and Penta. I gotta go with both of them.
Well, both of those.
Because I mean, Penta kind of gets, you get Ray Phoenix with Penta. It's like almost like Sonic and Tails, or Mario and Luigi. You get another awesome lucha guy to kind of like complement what Penta is, So, but Pac, I announced a lot back in the day, and I'm obviously going to be biased to him just being like, when let loose, the best in the world.
Yeah, so awesome. But unfortunately, both of those answers are wrong. Urka in the chat is wrong. The best out of the 6 of those guys is Austin Gunn is the correct answer. There. Austin Gunn, blue chip prospect, bright future, hilarious, great guy. Put on a lot of size, too. Love him. Chris Jericho versus Hook versus Shibata for the FTW Championship title, which no longer stands for Fuck the World. It's for the world, Larry.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Jericho is leaning into his cringe. He's leaning into the please retire. He is fully embracing and leaning into what they used to call go away heat. He also in this match used dice. Never seen that before.
Well, they were in Vegas.
Yeah, it's a gambling motif. Did you watch this? What do the notes say?
I didn't watch it. I mean, I guess I watched this, but I mean, there's nothing worth noting about it. It was just a match. And didn't Big Bill come out and help Jericho, with his distraction or something?
Yeah, Big Bill fell through a table and almost impaled himself on like the metal thing of the table. He was like an inch away from getting impaled.
And that is what enabled Chris Jericho to smile.
To retain and smile, yes.
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think about Jericho
there was nothing of note in that match at all.
No, the dice and the fact that Shibata was just randomly in it.
Yeah, just like, what's going on, guys?
Moving on, what about NYWC Hall of Famer Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy?
It was actually one of my favorite matches.
Really?
Yes, it was.
Is it because you love and hold a special place in your heart for both men?
I think it's because I know that they know. I know that they know. Come here, little kitty. I know that they know how to work each other's match. If that makes any sense to the wrestling people out there, I know that Orange Cassidy has been watching Trent Beretta for years. Trent Beretta has been watching Orange Cassidy for years, both ascending to this platform. So if they're given the opportunity on pay-per-view to do a match, like, I guarantee you that them talking in the back was so like smooth and easy, and that clearly to me translated in the match. I thought it was great. I thought it was good enough that like some of the shit that like kind of was like, how is he even still alive after like a pile driver on the apron, or like fucking, you know, like, yeah, I'm like, how, like, it was just so good that, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I told my coworker that is a wrestling fan when he was like, what do I need to see? I was like, oh, you gotta watch Trent and Orange. No lies told. I said, you gotta watch it. It was like, I loved it.
Wow, that's great. I wish because I rewatched a lot of this pay-per-view and I think I missed it the first time. I wish I had that opinion of yours in my head while I was watching, because this is another one that I was kind of like not that invested in. I'm more like, it's almost like the glaring plot holes are taking my attention away from the wrestling. And the fact that AEW defenders are like, well, it's not about the stories, it's about the wrestling, makes me pay less attention. You know, it's like, oh, it's about the matches. It was like, well, fuck the matches. Shit makes no sense. You know, so I feel like I sometimes look at it.
Because they used to be best friends.
Right.
And now Don Callis is like...
Don. So that's what I hated about it, actually. I
mean, that is very hateable offenses.
I couldn't stop myself from getting annoyed that Don Callis was, like, involved in this. And, you know, if you think about it, if I explain it to somebody, if I write it down on paper, it's like, it sounds good. Like, okay, Trent turned on Chuck. He retired Chuck for real. And then he turned on Orange and he always hated Orange and he's jealous of Orange and blah, blah, blah. And Don Callis, the evil manager that hangs around, he's trying to recruit Orange to the dark side. He's using this beef with Trent Beretta to get Orange to go to a dark place and join him and make his group more powerful. This evil son of a bitch, the human penis, Don Callis. And then Orange came out. They swerved the music. He came out to his old music. And he was wearing a black shirt instead of a white shirt. And his denim was a little bit more blue. And his glasses were black. And it might seem like he was going to embrace the dark side. But then what happened the very next week? They swerved you. And Trent Beretta joined Don Callis and embraced the dark side. So when I'm saying it like that, it sounds awesome. But when Don Callis is just yapping away on commentary, it just annoys the shit out of me. Like, why is this guy here?
Yeah, I guess that was a little annoying. I guess, yeah, I'll grant you that.
You know, I guess I'm more easily distracted and I guess just as a general principle, a lot more full of hate than you are.
Do you think that there are too many managers?
Yeah. Do I think that there are too many managers? No, I just think that they have a lot of, like, okay, there are a lot of groups, and a lot of those groups suck. Like, they need to thin out the groups. You know, because it's like, oh, like, because now, once again, you could assemble a group that's dope, right? And that's another thing too. The groups don't stay together. Like they don't like roll together. Like you'll see Cesaro has like a match on Ring of Honor like by himself, and he's like wearing the shirt and he's wearing the gear, but it's like he's not in the group. You know, it's like
Mox
one of the guys
and Daniel Bryan, they are cornering him.
Right, a guy will be in like a tag match with like somebody else. You know, it's like he's in a group, but then he'll be in a tag match with like fucking Pac or something, you know, and it's like, well,
right, like that guy Fabian, or the guy who like filled in, like Kyle Fletcher,
right?
Like Pac filled in for his partner, right?
Yeah, come on. And like, it's like a perfect example is Undisputed Kingdom, which was like supposed to be like the top heel group, like it was the Adam Cole group, and like you know, like it's the devil and his disciples, and like so like Wardlow's doing his own thing. Like Wardlow's never with them. The other two guys, they just wrestle in Ring of Honor, and when they're in Ring of Honor,
Matt
they're
Taven
just
and Michael Bennett.
They're just a tag team. They're not even in a group. You know, and it's
is
like,
Maria on TV at all? Do they ever use Maria Kanellis?
She might be like a backstage person, maybe, but I don't think so. I
haven't seen her in ages.
Yeah, so it's like the groups. It's not even like the groups suck. They suck because they don't stick to like the fundamentals of being in a fucking faction. You know? It's annoying. It's fucking annoying. And like, for instance,
yeah, they had a lot of fucking groups.
Yeah. Remember like the Pinnacle and all that shit? Like, and then the Pinnacle turned into like the Jericho. Jericho's got a group. Oh my God. Yeah. It's the Firm. And then like, yeah, it's just fucking so dumb. And, by the way,
dude, it's like, yeah, they have the,
we might as well get into this now because we're talking about the groups. Adam Cole came out. Adam Cole was the mastermind behind 8 months of manipulation and fucking like undercover activities, doubling as a fake best friend to Max. And when they would go to like Applebee's vignettes and then he was also the devil who was like taking over the airwaves, and he had like minions. He had like putties, right? And he revealed that it was him the whole time. The devil's faction. So at the pay-per-view, he comes out walking under his own power, and he's got a promo to cut, and he's not even with the guy. The group isn't even there. The other guys, the group that he made weren't even there. He didn't.
They're like, fuck you, Cole. Go out by yourself.
He didn't have Wardlow with him. Roderick Strong, you know, all this shit. Oh my God. And
is Wardlow even still a part of it?
I don't know. Maybe he's I think he broke his leg, dude.
Dude, I didn't know, dude. Like, I didn't even know.
And so anyway, Adam Cole is saying some stuff, and then Maxwell Jacob Friedman comes out, and he gets a pre-intro. He gets like a little John Carlos cinema in the beginning. You know,
that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what
they do now.
And you can tell who his favorites are because like MJF always gets one. You know, like Darby always gets one. Whatever. So MJF
he's doing
comes
for
out,
Joey,
and MJF comes out, and I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of this. He comes out, big surprise. Everybody's so happy to see him. He comes out dressed like Edge, dressed like Triple H. He's got the denim leather Triple H jacket on, black jeans, and like combat boots. Cause he's like he's like a tough guy now. He's like a biker now. And he's got a Cardona level tan. He has a Drake Younger WrestleMania level tan.
A black man.
A few shades.
A black gentleman.
A few shades darker than you, I would even go as far to say.
Yeah, he's bronze as a motherfucker, bro.
And it wasn't like some like Hulk Hogan Tampa Bay poolside tan. It was like painted on. It was like unnaturally painted on. It was not a good tan. And then also, did you see, like, he must have, like, cut weight and, like, his abs are looking good now. So he kept, like, pushing his coat back. Like, so he was, like, standing in the ring. He would, like, push his coat back behind his hips so you could, like, see his abs. And I just thought that was so obvious and so lame, and it just made him look so stupid. And his, like, hair, he wasn't even wet. Like, when Triple H dressed like that, he was always soaking wet. Maxwell Jacobs' hair looked like my hair. It looked like just a Brillo pad plopped on top of his head. On top of a black man's head.
Yeah.
A black man dressed like Triple H.
Maxie wanted to do it his way. What did he do? Did he just low blow Cole?
Well, they hugged, and then he kicked him in the balls. And then he cut a fired up promo.
I started this pay-per-view after watching the pre-show stuff at that point. So the first thing on this pay-per-view was Ospreay Roddy. I missed Ospreay Roddy.
Right, and Ospreay won the international championship. That I missed, and I did not go back to watch.
I did not as well, but because I knew what it was. They're studs, fucking studs. Like, they were killing each other, and basically. What are you doing, girl? You better not be messing with my fucking Jordan.
As if Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who obviously is lacking a wise male role model in his life. You know who Maxwell Jacob should be hanging out with? Shawn Michaels. And you know what? Based on all the things that you said before, Maxwell's the right shade to get,
I mean, all in due time, bro. Like,
but
you want to talk about Ricky Starks? Did Max have a tattoo?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. As if it wasn't cringe enough with those horrible threat level midnight spray on tan, the oversized Triple H jacket, and the boots, and the stupid combat boots. He comes out and he reveals that he has re-signed with AEW, a long-term deal, and he rolls up his pants leg to reveal a tattoo of an AEW poker chip with a banner that says, "Bet on yourself." And it's not a very good looking tattoo. And it really doesn't make any sense at all to get a logo of a company that you signed a contract with surrounded by a banner that says "Bet on yourself." He's basically saying that he's elected to not make the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's going to make The Shining, but he got a tattoo that says DIY. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I did not know that was the tattoo. I heard it was AEW for life.
No, it was AEW Bet on Yourself. Which I guess it could go with the moniker of, that they are changing the world and everything. But I mean, yeah, I And
Wow.
then he said, just call me the Wolf of AEW because I'm not fucking leaving. And now he has a shirt that says the Wolf of AEW, I'm not effing leaving. And the cringe levels of Maxwell Jacob are permeating throughout the universe. He's going to fuck it up, Larry. I feel like they're fucking it up.
I saw him elbow drop. Did he elbow drop the microphone?
He elbow dropped his shirt or something. Yeah. He elbow dropped something.
And am I to understand that he's kind of like on a crash course to fight Roosh? Is that what we're looking like after last night's Dynamite, or is that the speculation that Max's first? That's just gonna be his first deal is Roosh.
Why? Could you inform me? Max was on the show last night. I completely forgot that he even returned. Was he on the show? Is he fighting Roosh?
No, he wasn't. No. He wasn't on Dynamite last night. He's advertised for next week's Dynamite.
Oh, so where does Roosh fit into all of it?
I'm hearing already that that's going to be his first program.
Huh. He's just going to beat up Roosh.
Well, they're going to fight.
Oh, God bless him. Jon Moxley versus Takeshita. Jon Moxley comes out with the very, very badly bandaged arm, and they worked the arm the whole match. Takeshita's awesome. Moxley's not as bad as our friend Jim thinks he is, but yeah, it was a New Japan match. And it wasn't even for the title. It was an eliminator. It was a non-title one-on-one match, which and Moxley won. So if Moxley's going to win, why not just make it for the title? Stupid.
Logic, bro. Logic.
He lost the eliminator match.
Yeah, they used to do those all the time in Ring of Honor, called like a open challenge or opportunity knocks.
Yeah, opportunity.
You know, like
the eliminator match,
where you got to do this before you get that, and then you end up losing, and it's like, good try.
Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb. Toni Storm is constantly making me not hate her. I just think that she's fun and weird, and most of the time everybody likes something. It makes me not like it, but I think I'm kind of finally getting warmed up to Toni Storm. Like, she's just pounding it into my head, and I just love it now.
Yeah, she's doing good work. She's got the entrance like Goldust. She's got the fucking manager like Goldust. You know, she's a blonde. Yeah, she's Goldust.
Her gear is awesome. She dresses like basically like a 1920s strong man, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so it was like it was a triple main event, and we'll get to the media scrum in a minute. Let's talk about Adam Cole.
Are you going in order? Is this in order?
I think I'm going somewhat in order, because no, I guess it's not directly in order, but Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black for the TNT Championship title. Barbed wire cage match. And Edge came out to like a Slayer remix song. So he came out to like the Brood entrance, but to like a Slayer song. And it was like, oh, where's the song? But then Gangrel used either the song or a closer version of it later on, because Gangrel came out during this. Malachi Black, Brody King came out. You know, House of Black came out. Did you watch this?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I liked there was the swerve.
Yes, that was the best part. That was the best part for me.
Yeah, I like the swerve.
Where Edge
and I like that Gangrel came out, and like those are those moments that like only can happen in wrestling. And like and I actually didn't even know about Edge having pitched Gangrel to do something in WWE, and they were like, no,
nobody knows.
We're not doing anything. You're just like, oh, it'll be cool. And they were like, no, dude, we're not doing anything with Gangrel. Give us something else.
That's dumb.
Yeah. As long as Gangrel has got those fangs and is ready to bang, well then I want to see him on my television. And you know, I worked with Gangrel on season 2 of The Masked Wrestler. Of course, Gangrel was the cat. He was El Blanco Gato, the white cat. In season 2 of The Masked Wrestler, IWTV original programming, so I get to spend quite a bit of time with Father Gangrel on this, because he made it all the way through to the finals, because, you know, we wanted to get our money's worth out of Gangrel.
Yeah,
you got big stop, you know. So yeah, bro, he works. He can work any style, and he's awesome. So I was glad to see him come on out.
And Edge apparently broke his leg when he decided to jump off the top of the cage and splash Malachi Black, but he didn't really splash him. He basically just jumped off the top of the cage and landed directly on his feet.
That's what I heard. I heard he jumped from the cage onto his feet, trying to recreate the famous moment that Psycho Sid did.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, and then when he landed and broke his fucking leg, he jumped and did an elbow drop.
Yeah.
You know, Pat, I think that on that day, he saw clearly.
He goes, I'm going to break my leg and go home. Me and Gangrel are going to get paid and get the fuck out of here. We're going to finish our story.
Dude, him, Christian, and Gangrel probably were riding down the fucking highway to that. Dude, that bro. Wow, you know that fucking brew. You know, yeah, bro, that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just fucking ride like the Lost Boys, like fucking Interview with the Vampire.
Gangrel's got an envelope full of money. He's hanging his head out the window, just giving those fangs some air, just wind.
Yeah, they probably got a picture of Luna, R.I.P. Luna Vachon's, like stuck in there somewhere because she's.
Edge is in the back, laid across the back seat with his leg completely shattered into a million pieces.
Yeah, but he doesn't care.
He's
just
care.
like looking maniacal. He's just looking maniacal. Yeah.
He's like the guy from Clockwork Orange who's bleeding. He's like, I'm fine. Eli Roth. Yeah, they're just laughing all the way to the bank, back over the border.
Bro, you know, we said that about Onita. We said that Onita was like laughing as he was leaving Trenton.
Yeah.
Knowing he had so much money for doing that fucking show. Like knowing how much money he was leaving the United States with.
Suitcases of money. Just driving and cackling, listening to Wild Thing. With Tony FMW Tony Leatherface. helping him carry all the loot. Helping him with all the gold bricks.
His
carry his suitcases of money. Yeah, the best part of the match was when
the swerve.
Was when because Edge was teasing that he was gonna take the House of Black from Malachi. And you know, they did a classic wrestling thing where the two men who were standing up like parallel to Malachi, they switched sides and the crowd went wild.
And then they were all looking at Malachi.
Yeah.
And he sold it. That's what made the crowd go, shit, is he sold it? Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? What the fuck are you guys doing? You know.
And then actually the Brody King, to break it up and bring everyone back to reality, it was like a swerve. Brody King attacked Edge and clotheslined the shit out of him, dude. The shit out of him. Yeah.
Edge probably told him to.
Yeah, he's like, do it. He's like, guys, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's like his midlife crisis. He's like hanging out with like Brody King and then he's like, yeah, really hit me. Let's really lay it in, brother. And they're like, okay.
Well, no, I mean, he probably was like, hey, I guess after the swerve, it's going to be a tight fucking shot with the camera guy that's closest to us. So you better fucking lay me out with that clothesline because it's probably going to be like right up close and personal with everyone to see. And if you don't fucking just fuck me with it, it's going to look dumb that I don't go down. Yeah. And Brody was like, all right, bro.
Rocked him.
That's it.
Fucking rocked him.
Ain't got to tell me twice.
Yeah.
You're getting the full roaring.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, that's probably pretty wise. That's probably pretty smart. Spot on.
Edge is smart and knows cameras, and probably knows AEW's cameras too. And it's like they're probably just gonna go right for the guy that's closest to you to get it. So just lay me out, dude. Even if it looks bad, the people sell so big for it. Like, oh shit, you know.
So
that was my favorite part. And then for it to seem like Edge was in such dire straits, like there, I'm like, oh, he's dead. I'm like, he's fucking dead now. And then Gangrel. That like is the perfect thing in wrestling where it's like, bring him all the way down, Bring them all the way up. Bring them to a fucking neutral level, and now make them. Like they did that fucking maestro shit masterfully, because I was like, oh, Edge is dead now, dude. They did killed his ass just like the Judgment Day did in WWE. My friend, dude, fucking old ass Gangrel. People are losing their shit because they're like, is this Gangrel? Oh yeah, it's a Gangrel.
Oh, you're goddamn right it is.
How about Gangrel wearing the girdle?
Oh yeah,
he knows. Yeah, it's like I wore the fucking girdle. It keeps me all together.
Plenty of vampires wear girdles, dude. All right, so then triple main event.
In the vampire world, that was a corset.
It's the only horror, the only supernatural being that can get away with wearing a corset is a vampire. Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage, AEW World Title. Basically, exactly what I thought it was going to be. You give Swerve some adversity. They beat the shit out of him for weeks. Numbers game. It was great that Prince Nana. This was a great moment too. Prince Nana got ejected from ringside to a chorus of boos. Usually it's the other way around. Usually the bad guy gets ejected, but they ejected Prince Nana. But then later on, when the chips were down, Prince Nana came out with a chair, saved the day, ran off Nick Wayne, and Swerve retains. And Swerve is feeling it. He's feeling himself. So hot right now.
Didn't Nana run out with a very large pipe?
I thought he had a chair, but he might have had a pipe. I mean, the classic AEW pipe, the Riho pipe.
I thought it was a pipe, but yeah.
They have one pipe.
Yeah, that was exactly what we expected it to be.
I was completely wrong about a lot of things on this pay-per-view, actually.
Yeah, we both were.
I thought that they might allow Willow to retain, but Mercedes Moné beat her.
I didn't think they were going to let her retain it. I didn't think they were going to let her retain, but I didn't think the aftermath of that was going to happen either.
Oh, well, that's actually pretty smart, because now that puts Willow out of it. She's now dealing with that stuff. She's in a feud with her friend who turned her back on her.
Pat.
Yes.
It's fine. Save it for the next show. Save it for Dynamite. Let this title win sink in for her. No falderall, no. Oh, shit. That thing that I just talked about that happened in the Edge match about like, I'm all the way down. Oh, I'm all the way up. Oh, my God, what did we just see? You didn't need all that. We just had a great match. Money got the title. The jacket.
The jacket.
Like,
she got the title. She just got the title.
Now we want to have Stokely and Chris Statlander and them hurting Willow when she just fought so hard. You heels. What about Dynamite? That could have been for Dynamite.
Could have been a whole thing on Dynamite.
Whatever. I love all of those people involved in that match. Well, I don't know Sasha. But the rest,
she's a New York person. She's a New York kid. Or no, she's a Boston kid. Ugh.
I was only around her one time, and we didn't make eye contact at all.
Nice. Well, yeah, she won. You did say that she has like a ragdoll body and she takes a lot of accordion bumps, like inside out, like flopping about. Mercedes does.
She took an apron power bomb. And whereas most bodies you would imagine would like bounce off of the apron, like when she landed, her like back like melted into the apron. It like wrapped around the apron, as opposed to like the way that most bodies you would think would bump off of an apron, like an Eddie Kingston or Will Ospreay. You think any of those guys, they like kind of bounce off of it and then fucking fall down and sell it. Whereas she like, her snaky and flexible body, like fucking like almost like slinkies around the fucking deals that it looks like it hurts even worse.
She has
she has the ability to take a lot of bumps like that.
Yeah, that is a good point.
I like seeing her bump because I always think she's really hurt. Like I always think Mercedes like really hurt. You know, so I'm like she must know what the fuck. Yeah.
And then so she beat Willow. Willow was turned on by her friends Stokely and Chris Statlander, which will be good for Statlander. She gets to explore her dark side. And then Mercedes goes on to do her first successful title defense against Sky Blue the next evening. So that's what happened there. And in the main event, this thing is so dumb. This match is possibly the dumbest match in the history of wrestling, but I am never not entertained by it, and I can never take my eyes off of it. Anarchy in the Arena. Team AEW versus the Elite.
The Elite of Matthew and Nicholas, the Jackson brothers, Jungle Whore, and Kazuchika Okada.
Yes.
Okada-san,
hardcore wrestler Okada.
Yeah.
He brought out a custom street sign that said Rainmaker Boulevard or whatever. Well,
I mean, what did we think we were going to see in this besides what we saw? Like, just they do this. They do this match.
Did you think that you were going to see at one point they were fighting in the parking lot and Jungle Boy, or I guess they implied that he ran over Darby Allin, that he murdered him with a bus. He hit him with a bus because Darby was like slammed into a pile of like cardboard boxes. And then he drove the bus into the cardboard boxes.
Implying that Darby was in those boxes.
He was in those boxes.
Boy just murdered him.
Killed him, hit him with a bus.
Well, that's funny. That's what I'm saying. It's like...
It's silly.
Sometimes people do silly things because it's like a cool, like, you know, you actually got hit by a bus. Well, what if we did something where, like, you know, you're like, we're in the fight and, oh my God, the driver just get hit by a fucking bus. Like, you know, oh, that's a second time
he got hit by a bus again.
No, this time we got it on camera and it's for our show. Like, so like kind of meta and Snapchatty, fucking TikTok.
Snapchatty, yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
You know what I mean? Like you just did that for that. Like I guess they did one of these also where like Matt Hardy hit his teleport gimmick or like did all three faces of the Hardys, and it was just because they were doing this type of zany type shit that they could do some shit like that. But that don't make it like what? What are you doing? What is this?
And at one point, Jack Perry, towards the end of the match, grabbed Tony Khan from Gorilla and dragged his disheveled ass out. But then Darby Allin came back, and they fucked up the timing of this. I'm no expert, but you could see that all
timing was very fucked up, bro.
They were all waiting on Jungle Boy and Tony. And I think that Darby was supposed to reveal that he wasn't murdered by coming out to rescue Tony. But I think what happened is that Darby was like kind of waiting around for Tony and Jungle Boy to appear. Everybody was kind of waiting around. The Young Bucks had the fire extinguishers ready. So they were just like kind of huddled in the corner. Everybody waiting for Jungle Boy and Tony to arrive.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I don't understand, Pat. First of all, why Tony was seemingly at Gorilla by himself. There wasn't a soul next to him.
In a closet. He's just in a weird...
It's just a black table, a monitor. Yeah.
You know what they do? They unplug the controller from him. You know, like they put him in a corner so he thinks he's playing the game, but he's like, they just give him like a board with buttons to press and like a headset.
And I don't understand that, number one. And then I also don't understand why there wasn't like a camera that just followed Jungle Boy with Tony.
Right,
like, why didn't they just stay on that all the way out so that then when he comes out, they switch to the big camera where maybe the crowd already sees Darby's alive, but Jungle Boy comes out and is like, oh shit, you're alive? And then, like, why didn't they do that?
Well, you know why? Because Tony was taken away from a gorilla, so the production was completely disoriented.
Right? You know? Yeah, once he's from, no one even knows what to do.
Yeah, but it's so true. He was sitting in like a dark corner with a table with like 2 monitors. Just by himself. There's nobody else around. Yeah,
it was so...
They just give him like so crayons.
I was like, what's going on here? What's this?
So then Darby Allin lit Jack Perry on fire, to which Jack Perry flailed around like a guy who was very safely on fire. And then he got put out by fire extinguishers that were conveniently right to the side of the ramp so that the Young Bucks could get their dueling fire extinguishers. And the highlight of the entire show was that to get away from the fire, Tony Khan, the camera's like here. So you're like your perspective as the viewer is that the cameraman is like at the foot of the ramp facing like the entranceway. So, and like the ring is behind him. And so Tony, to get away from the fire, rolls like past the feet of the cameraman, like out of the shot. And you, as the viewer, see the fire stunt and all this shit. And fan footage has come out recently that Tony Khan not only rolled out of harm's way, but down the entire entrance ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Like a maniac, and then got up and ran off like a maniac. And somehow, while I was watching that live, I already knew that that's what he did. I just knew that he rolled all the way down.
I mean, bro, maybe he really did fear for his life.
Yeah, he was probably like, oh man, I don't want to get one little piece of fire on me. I don't have the retardant pants.
No, I'm talking about it, that whole Punk thing where he's like, I feared for my life. Maybe he's like so scared of shit, like that he rolls away from danger.
He is a maniac. What else did they do? They and then they hung Darby upside down. And the guy legitimately got cleared, right? I mean, who knows how broken his foot still is? But he's got a busted up nose, and he had like a mask with like the tape on it. I mean, was he selling? Is it really like, yo, my nose still isn't 100%? But if you have a broken healing nose and you're hanging upside down, that's got to be uncomfortable. And he was like that for a minute. He was upside down for like a minute.
Yeah. You know, didn't they do some shit earlier in the night where like Martha Hart came out and they talked about how like the Hart Foundation has been going on for 25 years and like the winners of the tournament this year get the shots at the titles in Wembley. And you know, by the time they had hung Darby up side down, which was after the fire, I thought to myself, like, are they like trying to like be like, ha ha, like even though we're doing this thing in one regard, we're doing way crazier stunts that like, you know, that's the big thing about Owen's death is that you didn't need to be doing this type of thing at a wrestling show, like coming from the ceiling at a wrestling show and all for ratings. So now, you know, AEW wants to have the hottest show. So let's set a motherfucker on fire. Okay, let's do that. And, you know, this guy, he got hit by a bus in real life and broke his ankle, but, you know, we need him. So let's just hang him upside down for a long time where the people are, what do they say? Please help Darby. They're like chanting, please help Darby. Like, Yeah, I thought it was like almost like bastardizing like that whole thing with Martha Hart to have this kind of like stunt showy of a match. Like it was a stunt showy of a match, Pat, is what I'm trying to say. Like where there's the this and the that and the fire, and it's like hanging the guy up.
In one fell swoop, completely undoing all the good karma.
Yeah, it's like what? Like,
yeah, and I bet you if you were to ask Tony about it, he'd probably be like, "No, it's different. It's different. I don't see the correlation." But yeah, what
it's like a wrestling show, but how far can we go? Real glass, cry me a river. How far can we go? Like I'll set my ass on fire, and run around a little bit, and the Young Bucks will put me out because guess what?
Whatever, well, I think being set on fire is a lot safer these days than it used to be. I within a week or two before that moment, I saw a video on Twitter of a bride and groom walking into their wedding reception on fire. So
my!
Bride and groom could do it. Look it up. If somebody could train. If you have enough money as a civilian for somebody to train you and get you the proper clothing, like how many hours of lessons does it take to skydive, right? How many hours of lessons does it take to be, permitted to be lit on fire for like 10 seconds? You know what I'm saying? What's more dangerous? What's more dangerous? Wearing like this, going up in a plane and wearing the certified parachute after like 10 hours of lessons and like jumping in a controlled environment out of a plane, or putting on like the proper pants, like the NASCAR pants. Which, by the way, I'm sure are a lot more protective than they were like 20 years ago. And you put on the technological fucking asbestos pants or whatever. You have some stuntman come in, talk to Jungle Boy for a few minutes, probably. And you get the fire extinguishers ready, and off we go. Yeah, just run around and flail your arms until they put you out. You're going to be fine. You're not even going to feel it. It's like a walk in the park. And then he cuts the promo. What more do I have to give to prove myself to you? I was lit on fire. It's like, dude, you know what's harder than learning how to be lit on fire? Learning how to wrestle, probably.
Hell yeah.
Like, it takes years.
Well, you can do that.
It takes years to learn how to become you spend your lifetime learning how to become a good wrestler. I don't think, like, getting lit on fire is not like a lifetime pursuit of knowledge.
It just seems like that the whole stunt with the flamethrower even being introduced onto TV was just to lead up to this moment.
Yeah.
And those types of moments don't have their place in wrestling. They're not organic, and it makes it phony. I was just about to ask you, what do you think is the best like fire lighting ever in wrestling that you've ever seen? What do you think is like your best like? Oh shit!
I got two that pop right into my mind. One is probably a lot more credible than the other. Dudley Boys. First time Dudley Boys lit a table on fire. Amazing, incredible, the best shit. As I'm saying that, I just thought of a third one. The second one that was in my mind was when Mick Foley was fighting Triple H in No Way Out 2000, which was the month after their Royal Rumble Madison Square Garden street fight, which was an amazing match.
Indeed it was, yep.
And I think it might have been for the first time, in WWE, or at least from my memory, first time Mick Foley did in WWE for sure. He lit the barbed wire 2x4 on fire while they were on top of Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
And that was fucking awesome. And then we're talking about Edge. Edge Mick Foley spear through the fire table has got to be up there as well. What about you? I feel like I already know one of yours.
Bro, I always thought the way that they lit Kane on fire in the Inferno matches, I think they've done like three. Yeah, I think they've done like 3 or 4 fucking Inferno matches where Kane like gets hit and his arm goes right into the flame, or he kicks like he goes for a boot and the person like deflects and his foot goes right in it, so then he's like going up the ramp shaking it. I always liked those, bro. I always thought they were so like kind of like phony enough, but like you can't deny the motherfucker's on fire. Like, and also the sleight of hand of them getting him prepped for that, I never saw like when they got his arm ready for that, when that stunt happened. Like Vader, I think Vader was attacking or something. I don't remember. It's like something happened where you didn't really see the fucking sleight of hand of them getting his arm that way because he didn't wrestle that way the whole time.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Like the flame guard technology for Kane in the Attitude Era was probably a lot more archaic than it is now for Jungle Boy. And you know what else, Larry? I just realized this. See, I think in my mind, Kane wrestled the whole match with whatever it was on. Whereas I bet you that Jungle Boy changed his pants. I bet you
that's why they couldn't film from the whole time. He got Tony from Lonely Gorilla. Lonely Gorilla.
Lonely Gorilla. Gorilla isolation. They just pop him in a corner. I want to go back and look at that footage now because he wasn't like just like a weird corner by himself, dude.
Why is Tony in like a black room?
He's got the same office as Ryan the Temp from The Office. He's in the closet. Right. They converted the closet into Gorilla for him. He's like, oh, this is how I like it.
Odd.
All right, we're running late, as always. It's 10 o'clock right now.
Oh, my gosh. Well, wait a minute. I got some notes. Can I talk about Raw?
Yeah, let's do it. I was going to try to run through King of the Ring and Raw and whatever's going on in WWE, so have at it.
You want to do King of the Ring first since linearly it happened first?
Okay, I'll do real quick.
All right, go.
Liv,
and I'll chime in.
Liv beat Becky to become the women's world champion.
Could not believe it.
I was completely wrong about that. We both said there's no way that Liv was going to win. And Dominic Mysterio flew all the way to Saudi Arabia just to try to fuck Liz out of the title, but he accidentally fucked Becky into a Liv victory. And that continued.
He's been doing a lot of accidental fucking.
And that continued on Raw. That's probably the hottest thing going right now. Sammy, Gable, and Bronson for the IC title. I was thinking as Sammy came out, didn't he early on refuse to wrestle in Saudi Arabia?
I was thinking the same thing, like because he's a Liberian or Syrian.
Yes.
Sami Zayn is Syrian descent, and because of the atrocities, I guess, that the Saudis, or I don't want to speak on it.
Yeah, I don't really know, but I feel like that happened.
But him and Kevin Owens
and and Bryan Danielson as well. He was we're
not going over there.
But also, I mean, it's just different optics. Think about it, like that, like in 2000 and whenever that started, it was like Vince at the helm. So Sammy was probably like, "Yo, fuck this. This is like." Reeks of weirdness and fishiness. But now with Triple H and Stephanie, like, oh, we're helping change the culture, Sammy. We need you. He probably is looking at it a lot differently these days.
Finesse them.
Sammy retains. Otis turns on Gable, but then not really because they were back together. Lia Valkyria versus Nia Jax. David versus Goliath. We were right about this one. I get it now with Lia Valkyria or whatever. She's kind of like Ned Stark's daughter. The daughter from Game of Thrones who becomes like the assassin. Arya Stark. Lia Valkyria is like Arya Stark. She's like her character's like Game of Thrones Arya Stark. That's just that. Nia Jax killed her and became
killed her dead.
Bonsai dropped her from like powerbomb position, which was awesome, and became Queen of the Ring. Randy versus Gunther was awesome. Very old school match. I could almost hear Jim Cornette praising it in my mind as I was watching it. A lot of body slams, hip tosses, working a limb.
Can I ask you something?
Yep.
I heard on another podcast that if you actually watch Randy Orton's matches, he doesn't really do anything. He does not put in any real effort to do.
Yeah, he barely bumps
anything but the bare minimum of like moving around and like moves and shit. So I heard that this Gunther match was really good. I don't know why I didn't see it. Was Randy putting in that work?
I mean, Randy was taking Gunther chops, which was a shocking sight to behold.
Was Randy bleeding?
No, he had like the chest
the redness.
The redness.
The hand print.
Yeah, and he did classic Randy facials. His facials are great. He's like it's like
that's
when he finally felt the Gunther chop, it was almost like, oh, okay, this is what they're talking about. Like, he gave it its due just with his face. He was like, oh, okay, like, all right, okay.
And you know what that is? That's a generational face. His father,
he's a genius,
Cowboy Bob Orton, and Cowboy Bob Orton's father, Bob Orton Sr., they've all done that fucking, face that is hopefully one of Randy's kids is a wrestler.
Nobody has grown on me more in, the last 20 years than Randy Orton. I used to be, so when Randy Orton had hair, I couldn't stand him. And then he went through a perfectly shaved Don Callis penis phase too, where he looked like a penis. But now he's old and weathered and wise and world traveled, and I like me some Randy Orton. And then
let me just say one thing. I think when Randy Orton went through that shaved head period is when he had his largest gay audience. I think that was when I would see him come on, I go to sites. I'd see him at the side of the sites as a celebrity you could see on the beach and stuff that time.
Randy knew. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And then in a main event that was, it was almost like modern old school in its way. It wasn't as old school as Gunther and Randy, but Logan Paul fought Cody Rhodes in a championship match.
Yeah.
I liked this match, and at one point I even said to myself, wrestling is awesome. They had the whole thing with he had Michael Cole, Logan Paul had Michael Cole holding the brass knuckles to prove that he wasn't going to use them, but then he brandished a second pair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
And punched Cody at a time where Cody, it really didn't look good for Cody. He was working the ribs the whole time, and then boom, a punch to the gut with the
brass knucks.
And then Michael Cole, who's another one who is vastly improved from over the last 20 years. I feel like Michael Cole.
I think he's always been good. He's just they're allowing him to let loose. Fellow Sagittarius, Michael Cole. He's always been good.
I feel like he smoked weed or something. I feel like Michael Cole over the last 5 years smoked weed for the first time, and it changed him a little bit.
Maybe
he did a little acid, and he's got a
I
whole
don't
new
know.
perspective.
I wouldn't go that far. Maybe he's the president of announcers. He got a title. He got a role, president of announcers.
Yeah, he's the man. And then he fucking got in Logan's face. He's like, "You're a loser." Logan's like, "What? What did you just call me?" And then he came at him, and Corey stood up and got in between, and played the Adam Pearce, played the presidential diplomatic managerial.
Yeah, but he didn't slug him.
No, and that was.
He didn't give him a shot. If it would have been Lawler, when it was Taz and the King in the Garden, Lawler got up and knocked Taz on his ass, and they had the fucking, Corey can still shake that. Corey can still shake that ass.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was a great little moment. And then when the tension grew to its limit and could be cut with a knife, that's exactly what they did. Cody did a suicide dive and broke all the tension and started his comeback. It was just really good. Logan Paul's awesome. He did a fucking awesome frog splash from the top rope through the table. You think about it, we used to suck Shane McMahon's cock for doing a elbow drop, and Logan Paul's doing a full extension frog splash from the top rope to the outside. Incredible.
Well, I mean, Pat, Shane wasn't really an athlete. He was athletic.
Yeah, that's true. He was athletic.
Yeah, he was athletic. He could do a leapfrog and keep up his cardio, but Logan Paul's a freak of nature, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's shredded. Anyway, great pay-per-view. Loved it. And then, I don't know if this is in your notes, but the biggest headline to come out of last night for me was that there was a Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan return match, main event.
In a cage.
In a steel cage. And Dominic Mysterio once again tried to screw Liv Morgan out of the title because she is enemies with, what's her name? Rhea Ripley. And fucked it up again. And Liv won. And then at the end, it's already got like 40 million fucking views in like 3 days. It's like their highest trending video. Is Liv Morgan laid a smooch right on the mouth of Dominic Mysterio. And as far as wrestling smooches go, this was a good one.
Yeah, I believe it got the 40 million because they ran over. And a lot of people at home did not see that.
Oh, okay.
If you were watching at home. So, yeah. So, like, a lot of people had to go to see that after it played. Bro, has Dynamite ever done a story that is run all the way through the episode and then kind of come to a conclusion in the main event? Like some shit with Braun going after, I don't know who it was, but he was going after someone, and it was his interference running after that someone that caused him to knock Dominic into the cage that knocked into Becky, enabling fucking Liv. Like, see shit like that. I think I was messaging our group and I'm like, yo, WWE just knows how to do TV. Like, that shit happened all the way then. And it's like, oh no, remember that? And it's like, oh, I do. And then it's like, you know, this trigger, knocks Dominic, knocks Becky, Domino, you know, like.
Amazing. I forgot.
I thought it was so well done. I thought it was awesome. I was like,
well,
they used to my TV.
They used to do that with like Stone Cold. Stone Cold would like appear on your TV like 3 or 4 times throughout the evening. I mean, the best that AEW did, because they never used to do that. The one criticism with AEW is like when you see the guy that you like, you know that they're not coming back. Like they're done for the night.
They're done.
It's like an indie show. You know, they never come back. Like they did their thing and now they're done. But I guess this week they did Mercedes opening segment and then like second hour match. So that, you know, they're getting there, but I mean they're way far behind. Yeah. And the intricacy of Braun Breaker, who is now like, that's what he's doing. He's just attacking randos. He's just like an unchained dog. Ho ho.
Yeah, he went after Ricochet when Ricochet was fighting fucking
somebody.
Who was it? Yeah, Ilya Dragunov or whatever. I want to say, do you think, hindsight being 2020, that they had a Chad Gable like role in mind for Adam Cole when they were like, hey, we want to bring you up from NXT and make you like a manager? Because like when I look at Gable, and I think Gable is doing brilliant fucking work right now, I'm like, he's not really like going hard at the wrestling as much as he's going at the Alpha Academy shit. So like, do you think that that's kind of when they were like, we want to bring you up as a manager to Cole? Like, do you think that Cole could have been Gable if he went with the program instead of getting nut-shotted by Max and being called a scrawny piece of shit?
Well, he's basically a manager. Wrestler. For the last like 2 years, he's basically been a manager, dude.
Yeah, right?
Do you think he regrets? How about this? I'll answer your question with a question. Do you think he regrets not staying where he was at? And maybe exploring like, hey, if I'm a manager, I don't got to wrestle. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That's just what I was thinking, man. I was thinking like when we all heard that report about that's the offer that they made him is to come up to the main roster as a manager. And he was like, no thanks. I was like, yeah, Cole ain't no manager, but Leo Rusher was a great manager.
He was very good. And they were integrating him too. Like he got his chance to like shine physically every so often, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah, that was one of my notes.
I think that.
Can I say one? What were you just saying?
I'll say this. I think that like knowing just like locker room culture from like, and not even like wrestling locker room, but like just sports locker room. I guarantee you that the powers that be have always been much higher on Gable than they were on Adam. Even when Adam was like NXT champion, because Gable's got the real Olympic background, and dude's like thick. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude's like, and I guarantee you they look at Gable, who's probably like working out, look at Adam Cole, who's probably playing video games, and they're probably like, yo, dude, like.
Cole was pretty big in NXT though, bro. Like, he's dropped a significant amount of weight.
Yeah,
like,
he is a skinny boy now.
That's one of their big things, and probably why Max called him scrawny. Another thing I want to say, and then I know it's like, are we past time? I don't even know how long we go. Do we just go?
We're not ending until those notes are complete. I want to touch on those beautiful notes.
All right. I want to say, I think that part of what has gotten Sammy and Kevin Owens so over with their speeches are their French Canadian accents, because very similarly, like I think we were talking about somebody who like has a hypnotic way of delivering earlier. Like when Sammy speaks, it's just the way that he like has that kind of slight, like, you're not from around here accent that makes me kind of like pay attention more to what he's saying and make it more impassioned. And I think that Kevin Owens as well, or Kevin Steen, has in the past been able to kind of like put these effects on his voice because of that French Canadian twang that they have that like essentially helps them get over.
Well, the other person we were talking about is Edge, who is also Canadian.
So they all have their own gift of gab. That's what it is. They all have their own gift of gab.
Yeah, they're like just foreign enough.
Yes. Yes. Not like British or Irish or any shit like that.
That's too harsh. Like, that's too harsh. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
very
yeah, I was when I was listening to Sammy's speech in the Gable, he
was going to whip Otis. Gable was going to whip Otis with a belt. He was going to give him the belt.
Ska.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yep. Here comes the hero.
Yeah, he's great.
So yeah. One other note I have. Who was Otis even with when he first came out? When he first used to do the worm and shit? Wasn't he with a
guy?
big
They were like the Power Tools or something.
Yeah, something like Bob the Builder as motherfuckers or something. But like, I was thinking that as far as Otis has come with doing everything right and being like a real staple, and Tozawa, my boy Tozawa too.
Yeah, he's still
I
doing
go all the way back to like his first excursion in the U.S. He's doing it well too. But like, I was like, yo, who was Otis even with when he first started?
That guy, and that guy had like a career-ending injury. Like he hurt like his neck or his back and like had to retire. Or they might have released him. Maybe both of those things happened. Maybe he got like seriously hurt and then they released him. I'm not sure, Larry. And somebody in the chat or in the comments, please confirm or deny this. I think that Otis and Kyla Braxton are dating. I'm pretty sure that they're an item.
That's cute for them.
Yeah.
That's cute for them. I love Kayla Braxton.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
Yeah, she's awesome. And Samantha, I have a note about Samantha Irvine that I noticed. I noticed that for the earlier intros in the show, she like cuts their names off. She's like, Ricochet! Like, they don't get the fucking Kyrie Sane! They don't get that. Kyrie is later on in the show. So I was noting, like, her build. Like, a lot of the first guys throughout the show get very short, like staccato intros. And I also was thinking, that's probably Larry, with your 21 years doing this announcing, a very smart thing to do. Because, of course, you want to save yourself for the end, but then also it kind of makes the people that are like higher sound like higher. Like, not to make Ricochet sound low, but you probably don't want to make Ricochet sound too big because then they're like, oh, yeah, we know why you're giving him that intro because y'all are
he gets the unfairly short one. She's got a...
yeah, Ricochet.
Yeah. What's this guy? I don't even know what's his name.
Yeah,
Rick.
And his Rick. Yeah, but yeah, her build.
Well, that's very interesting too. Like, it obviously saves energy. You know, we were just talking about how if you really watch Randy Orton very closely, he doesn't really do much. You know, so you hit him with an RKO at the end. Everybody thinks it was a great show.
Right? Everyone's like, "Oh, we can't do it." That's what we want to see out of nowhere.
Yeah. So it's like you play the hits, you get in, you get out. So that makes sense, and that's kind of cool for her, because it's almost like if she was to go over the top the whole time, then what's important? You know what I mean? It's almost like a match within itself. Like thinking about the show,
which is
like a song within itself.
Problem. Yeah, it's my problem, and why a lot of people are like, "Oh, Larry's too much," because it's like I feel it so much because I'm so excited to be doing it that a lot of the times third match is sounding like we're already at the fucking first title fight.
Yeah.
When I do the MMA next weekend before our festival, I'll build like Samantha Irvine so I can have something left for old Ginzy and Amanda.
Well, that's right. I have to find myself a nice suit. Larry, I was considering maybe some kind of summery floral open button Cuban hat, white pants, loafers type of look now. Like a Bermuda.
I mean, you do understand that what we're really attending is like the thing that happens after the thing.
Yeah, the party.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Right, I'm not going to be in church.
Let's party. Yeah, we're not going to church.
Male romper.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, maybe like a male romper.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to be Caribbean Larry?
I mean, how summery? Because it's not a wedding on a beach. The party's not on the beach. It's in like a catering hall.
Bring the beach to the party.
We're gonna have to bring the beach to it.
Yeah.
We're gonna bust out our limbo sticks.
Boulevard Bullies Beach Limbo Bonanza.
Bad Take Pride Nuptial Celebration Extravaganza featuring now 3 times as many Hawaiian shirts. Well, anyway. Thank you.
Hold on, I got one more note.
Oh, yes.
I got one more note. So you know how I don't know if AEW does this, and I'd like to know if anyone in the comments can unlike me. You know how like apparently WWE has like a pie of like women, white men, black women, black men, Latino people, Asian, and like they've got to like shade in all of those equal so nobody can like break down the quarter hours of Raw and be like, and for over 35 minutes there wasn't a positive woman or there wasn't a person of color. They have this to a science to like make sure nobody fucks with them. I was noticing during the Carlito Ray Jr. match, which I thought was like such a little treat.
Yeah.
They used I'm on low power. They used Bandito Jr. The former Bandito Jr., former CZW World Tag Team Champion. He was the ref, and at one point, Carlito was doing something to Ray in the corner, and Bandito got in his ass in Spanish. And then Carlito looked back at him, and he said some Spanish too. And I was like, that's kind of awesome. Like, I understand, they like Seth because Seth is like kind of white passing, but actually he fills in a little bit of the Latino.
He's got a little Portuguese in him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, like Janelle and Cordero. But like, when things like that happen so organically, I'm like, I wonder if they just all know we speak Spanish and like fucking we can say the shit like whatever we want, like and won't even get caught or like, who knows. I just like that. I like during the Latino hour or quarter of that Legends match. Also, 3 men who I myself have announced. I thought that too when I was watching them. I'm like, 3 men I myself right now have announced. What a little feather in the cap to see, all these muses of mine, doing their thing. Carlito looks great.
Yeah, he does look good. Same age as Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, he looks better. He looks younger and better now.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
next week, that's a segment. Next week, I'm going to look up all the people who are the same age as Shawn Michaels. Maybe I'll have some visual aids. Don't forget to watch Rosemary's Baby this week. And don't forget to buy your Larry Legend merchandise. Send the man a DM.
You are so kind.
He's wearing his, and I don't want to wait any longer, tank top.
It didn't do that well, and I blame you know who.
Oh, absolutely. That is who's to blame.
It didn't do as well as the actual shirt, but we still got time. Two people who watched the other show, not the flagship show, obviously, put in orders. I got these in all sizes. Grab one. It's summer. It's almost summer. Summertime. Wear it to your friend's wedding. We did also. I want to shout out that we got a lot of positive comments about our debut show last week. We were real professional. This is the assignment.
Wow, look at that thing. That thing you're holding looks haunted. That VHS looks like it could be haunted. I didn't steal it. This is my old roommate Amanda May. She let me borrow it, and I never gave it back because it's a tape. Who has VHS? Amazing. I see Eyes Wide Shut. Another Kubrick in there. Oh man, that was going to be a recommendation of mine. Yeah, you got a lot of good ones. All right, well, I should have my outfit by now. I know, but you know what it is? There's a suit rental place right across the street from my job, so I spend a lot of time thinking about going in there, but not going in. So I think I'm going to go tomorrow. Yeah, go to the suit rental place, and then also just keep in mind, and I feel like I already told you this, and this is for everyone. I believe prom season is just about over. So places like Men's Warehouse, they now have a lot of the shit that they were hoping to get off of their racks for like $400, $500, knowing that everyone's coming in there for prom season. They got that stuff for like $150. So I remember for a while I used to rent, and then I started doing so many appearances. I was like, it just behooves me to like buy a tuxedo. So at one point in my CZW career, you can see specifically where I went from like a Foreman Mills suit to like an actual tuxedo. And then I liked the way that I looked in the tuxedo so much that I was just like, I'm just wearing tuxedo for CZW. You like the way you look. They guaranteed it. Yeah. Who was that? Joseph A. Bank? I guess so. I don't know. Joseph Abood Bank. Wow. Look at that stand. Look at that old school stand. Love it. Yeah. With the custom Larry Legend that's actually MVP. Amazing. I don't know where the kitty is. She stopped crying. I hope she's good. All right. Well, good luck to you and your new kitty. Thank you again for joining the show. Everybody, I think I found a home for her. So yeah, we'll see. All right. Keep us updated next week. Hope to see you next week. I will see you definitely next week. I'll fill in as much as you need me to, brother. And I hope everybody liked us this week as much as they did last week. I took notes. I got my notebook. Do you like my notes? I took some, I love the notes. You know what? I am going to. Then this is 2 weeks running. We were talking about handwriting stuff, and I wrote my notes in my notepad of my phone. So next week, I'm gonna have notebook notes. Love it. Like a real human freaking being. What's up, Amber Blackhall? We're just getting off of the R. We're just shutting down. Rewind for Life Talks, Kitty Talks, AEW Talks. Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, we're just shutting it down. Just shutting it down. I got mall Japanese food that I'm going to go eat. And love you guys. Live for you. Larry, thank you again. A pleasure as always. Until next time, everybody. I'm PK with the Boulevard Bullies. Out of time. Bye-bye.
Oh, so close to where you burn in hell forever, 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 forever. Boulevard.